your season of access granted, your season of congratulations, your season of you've been approved, your season of new is on the way. Alrighty, we are back with another episode of And Another Thing. I'm your host, World Devon Clark, the host of And Another Thing. You guys learned a little bit about me. Now let's get into this growth, right? So today, let's speak about the seasons, right? And before we jump in, let's talk about like what's been going on in the world. There's a lot of things going on, right? Like between relationships, between your friendships, maybe between work, family, the whole nine, right? Like us as people, we grow through things. I always say grow through things. I never say go through things, right? We're always looking for some type of growth, and we grow through things sometimes, right? But what really helped me understand the growth was a video that I made, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, right? And I titled it Treat Life Like a Tree. And in this episode, we're going to really fully break down how to treat life like a tree. Right. Now, I made this video maybe 2 or 3 years ago, right? Dropped it on TikTok. It did okay, right? Dropped it on Instagram. It did okay as well, too. But the idea of treat life like a tree came from 2020. 2020, we all was like in pandemic world and, stuck in a house and, more around our family members, more around our spouses, right? Just away, feeling like we was trapped truly. And for me, right? Because we all was just growing through it. I was at my parents' house at the time, and I walked outside of their home, and it was a tree standing to the left, and it was just different things going on in my personal life, and I looked up at that tree, and it was like I just really was astonished, right? And that tree spoke so many words to me without even speaking to me, and it was tall, right? It was green, it was flowing, right? And it really sparked that idea of me to really treat life like a tree, right? It was just flowing. And I started to think like, man, like how many like different seasons did this tree grow through, right? Like this tree, when we look at a tree, that tree probably about, 40, 50, 60 years old, but we never really experienced the magnitude of that tree growing, right? And I utilized that idea for my life when it came to growth, right? So for me, treat life like a tree is something that is very, very, very personal and close and deep to me, right? And let's get right into it, right? So when you're treating life like a tree, you have to think about the seasons. There are 4 seasons in a year, right? You got summer, you got fall, you got winter, and you got spring, right? And this is just my ideology on it, right? So in the summertime, the tree is flowing. The tree is green, right? Standing tall, the sun, gazing down on it, right? And then after that summertime, that summer season, right? Like you have the fall season, right? And in the fall season, what's going on? I give you 2 seconds. Right. The leaves are falling. The leaves are changing colors, right? The wind is blowing the trees back and forth, right? And then after that fall season, you have what? The winter season, right? And it's typically no leaves on that tree. Right, the branches become brittle, right, and then after that winter season, you get to that spring season where it's typically raining every day. It's cloudy, it's thunderstorming and all that, right? And if you truly treat life like a tree, you will really embrace those seasons way more, right? So let's first go back to that summer season. So in that summer season. Like, and let's relate it to your personal life now. In that summer season, what's going on? Like that's when everybody's around. Like everybody's outside when it's the summertime. Everybody wants to be there, right? Like every that's when things are going. It's easy to do the right thing, right? When things are going good, it's easy to feel good when things are feeling good, right? But then you got that next season after, which is that fall season, right? Like when the seasons are changing. Things are starting to fall off and change colors. And those things kind of represent family, in some people's situations, friends, right? And some folks' situations as well, too, right? And then after that fall season, you have that winter season where it's kind of like no one is kind of there. Like a few of you may feel like, okay, there's no one here in this season. Why am I enduring this season of my life? That may be a relationship that you thought was going to last forever. It's no one here no more, right? You might have thought a job was going to be there forever as well too, right? Or you might have thought a friendship that was going to be there forever. Just all of these different things, right, that you thought were just going to last. And that's that winter season, right, where it's just really you. Like, you're not feeling yourself. Like, you start to reminisce about that summer season, right? You start to think back on all of those great feelings that you had in that summer season. And then the fall, you start to realize it, like, okay, like I remember like when things were falling left and right, and I was just kind of holding on, attempting to figure out some sort of way. That kind of represents you and you all's life. Like, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to families, when it comes to friendships, right? And then that winter season, right? That winter season that comes around where there's no one there. It's like, okay, well, that's kind of like that rock bottom feeling, right? That a few of you all may be having, right? And then after that winter season, you got the season that rolls back around, or at the top of the year, right after that winter season, which is that spring season. And listen, podcast, I will tell you all this. I absolutely love the spring season. And I'm going to tell you why. In the springtime, it's raining a lot, right? It's thunderstorming a lot. And the typical person would say, rain, rain, go away. Come again another day. Come again another day, right? And that's typical for a lot of, including myself as well too, right? I'm not going to exclude myself from it as well, right? When we're growing through these hard, difficult times where we just don't understand, times where we feel like, why me? Times where we feel like, hey, I paid my dues. Why is this happening to me? Right? We want the rain to go away. Right. But when you just think about it, like, you just came from a fall season, right? You just came from a season where like things were starting to change, right? People were outgrowing you. You were outgrowing people. You were outgrowing situations. Situations were outgrowing you. And then you had to be in this winter season, right, of just kind of not loneliness, but alone, right? Where it's no leaves, no trees, where it's just kind of snowing, and you kind of just got to hold on. Has anybody ever been in a situation or a season like that where you just you didn't know how, you didn't know where, right? But we know it's from God, right? If you believe in God, for me, 100%. I'm a Christian, guys. And where you just kind of holding on. Anybody ever been in that hold on season? Right? And then as soon as you start to feel a little bit better, that's when the rain comes. And it's like, the typical person might say, if it's not one thing, it's a what? It's another. Right? And that's how it feels sometimes when you in that spring season. But I truly, truly, truly love that spring season, because when you in that spring season, that's typically where a lot of growth is transpiring. Just think about what's happening in the spring, right? April showers brings May flowers, right? So in that season of rain, in that season of uncomfortability, it is preparing you for that next season, which is what? That summer, right, guys? How can you be prepared? How can you be ready for a summer season, right, if you have not gone through the rain, right? If you not have been prepared, right? And then we relate it back to a tree. How can that tree be ready for a summer season again, right, if it had not gone through letting go some of those leaves? Some of you all right now may need to let go of some friendships that's not adding any more value to you, or that's not in the right, path that God has for you, right? And you'll continue to figure that out as you go on your journey, right? You'll continue to figure that out as you go and develop more on your path, right? Your calling, your assignment, right? And those things that are not for you, they hurt. And oftentimes we know when it's time to leave. We just sometimes get excited or really, really, really optimistic about what could be. And I think a few of us are not, the relationship, the friendship, the thing that's draining us. We really don't want it anymore. It's just we've lived with it for so long that we don't know how to allow it to leave and exit from our life. What if that tree didn't allow those leaves to exit? You know what I mean? What kind of it's time to go. Those leaves are dead now. Those are old. It's time to bring in new, right? It's time to open up space for the new, right? So that springtime, when it's raining every day, the next time you are in a spring season where it feels like, okay, God, listen, I just came from a winter season. I just came from a fall season where all my friends are gone. The job doesn't want me anymore, or the job didn't, and then I had to just kind of hold on. I'm barely getting by, or whatever the case may be. Okay, why me now in the springtime? I'm trying to do better. That's what typically happens, right? That's what typically happens when you are, doing the things that you should be doing to get to where you want to go, right? And you will feel that rain. Oh, that rain is so beautiful though, guys. Don't miss out on the beauty of the now from what you're experiencing now. Again, don't miss out on the beauty of the now from what you're experiencing now. It is nothing but blessings that's to come from what you're enduring. And you have to have that positive mindset. You have to, because if you allow life to make you feel like you are defeated, if you allow life to make you feel like, okay, this is it, if you allow life to make you feel like there's no way I can come out of this season, you will continuously be in that loop of anxiety, that loop of depression, that loop of just not feeling the greatest or not feeling the best, right? So really give yourself some grace, right? And know that in these seasons, right? Know that some people, some friends, some situations, right? Situationships or whatever the case may be, only may last for some seasons. And guess what? That is okay. That's okay. And again, as always, right? I'm talking to myself as well. It was a lot of things that I had to learn as a growing man, because we always continue to grow. Even when you 60, 50, I believe even when you 60 and 70 years old, you're going to continuously be learning, things about yourself as a man or a woman, right? For the lady listeners out there. So I had to learn some things as well too. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still figuring out, my way of the world on a daily. And I truly was, I wouldn't say not necessarily in my feelings, but more so just, frustrated with the way that the outcome started to look for me. But I noticed that when I changed my mindset to like, okay, not necessarily I have to, but I get to. When those minor changes, right? Again, changing with the seasons. Some things only last for a season, and you've allowed those things to creep over into other seasons, and that's probably why you are not growing the way you want to grow. You probably have brought a winter season of your life into a summer season that's clear as day. You're doing that with your relationships, right? Like you have so much, trauma that you, and again, as always, I'm talking to myself as well too, right? You got all this trauma that you have brought from your teenage years to your 20s to your 30s. You brought your teenage years to your 20s and your 20s to your 30s, right? It's okay to let go of some of those bad habits. It's okay. Right? It's okay to let go of those things. And I know that those things have made you to who you are today. I know that those things have developed your guard, but it's okay to grow. Right? It's okay to say, you know what? I do want to fall in love. I do want to get that promotion. I do want to start my business. I know I failed at it 10 years ago, but I do believe that this might be a summer season for me. Maybe that season 10 years ago was just a winter season. Maybe God was just attempting to see how faithful I was going to be. Maybe my strength. Maybe I just needed to see how strong I was on my own. Right? It might be a million and one different reasons as to why you may be enduring those seasons, but never, ever, ever, ever just allow yourself to dwell in those things that don't feel good. Right? Learn the lesson. Learn from the lesson. Hold yourself accountable. Take ownership. When you learn the lesson, when you hold yourself accountable, you take ownership. Okay, then you decide what does this season mean to me? If I am in a winter season, I got to get some type of growth from it as well too. If I'm in a spring season where it's raining every day, where it's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm attempting to show up to work on time, but my flat tire I have to see what type of blessing comes from that. Maybe you might have gotten into a car accident or something like that if you didn't catch a flat tire. Your mind just has to become so positive, and it take time, right? I'm still attempting to grow as well too, right? We're humans, but don't allow yourself to just spiral. Know that the seasons that you are enduring is absolutely beautiful. This is treat life like a tree. And the next time that you go outside, I want you to take a look at a tree and just think about how many harsh winters, how many blazing summers, how many times that the tree seen leaves leave their life, how many times it was raining and pouring down and thunderstorms might have struck that tree, and those things represent your life. How many times people might have crossed you, how many times you have made some poor decisions, how many times you have not have made the smartest choices, right? And you've endured all that, but continue to treat your life like a tree and know that the seasons, right, they come and they go, right? And your summer season, your season of flowing again, your season of access granted, your season of congratulations, your season of you've been approved, your season of your season of access granted, your season of congratulations, your season of you've been approved, your season of new is on the way. Continue to treat life like a tree. This is your 15 minutes of inspiration by Devon Clark. And another thing, have a good one.